Hey everyone, it's your local white guy here. Today I thought I'd talk about the revolution. Throughout time, people have been clamoring for revolution. Currently, it's not any different. With the global industrial economy in place, people are feeling the stress of trying to stay afloat. And it's really wreaking havoc on the entire living planet. The problem with revolution is it revolves. The word revolve is basically in revolution. And it's secular, which means it comes back around and then we have the same problem which we were revolting against. We're basically just reshuffling the deck and redistributing power. What we need is an evolution in thought. And I've written about this in the past. Revolution is easy compared to evolution in thought. Evolution in thought requires you to dismantle the story you tell yourself about yourself, and on a cultural level or a global level, the story we tell ourselves about ourselves. Here's an example. The other day on Facebook, there was a man who was trying to join a group, a Facebook group, which basically dealt with environmental issues like climate change. And one of the stipulations to join this group was that you supported LGBTQ rights. And he couldn't understand what the heck LGBTQ rights had to do with climate change, for example. Well, to put it simply, they have everything to do with climate change. And what this really does is it shows that a lot of people, and in particular people that look like me, don't understand the dynamics of power and how power works. We live in a massive hierarchy, which is made up of massive institutions, which collectively make up what we call the system. Now, because we live in a hierarchy, there is no top without a bottom. There is no wealth without poverty. There is no privilege without oppression. And so, therefore, there are groups of people who are striving to have equality. But there is no equality in a hierarchy. And that's kind of how it works, the dynamics of power. There is a requirement of injustice in order to maintain the living arrangement that we have. The consequences are people are oppressed, and from an environmental standpoint, the degradation of the living planet. Climate change wreaking havoc on us all. And so, if we don't understand that thought pattern, in other words, we cannot keep taking the same traditional status quo steps and hoping for some sort of alternative ending. If we want a different outcome, we have to take different steps, and those steps requiring challenging everything we think we know about living, including getting a career, going to grocery stores, having water come out of your tap, having somebody else build your house and you buying it. Everything we've been taught, everything we've learned has to be turned upside down if we want real change. But in my estimation, we don't actually want that change. What we want is an adjustment. And so revolution is often called for. And the adjustment means I'm not in power, but I would like to be in power. Or I'd like to have more power. The problem is there will always be people beneath trying to work their way up. And there will be always calls for revolution. So an evolution in thought isn't something that I see is going to happen. In fact, I think at this point, as far as the civilized world is concerned, which is about 7.5 billion of us, we're way too far down the rabbit hole, basically, to find our way out. And so it's difficult for us to even conceive living a life where massive institutions are not ruling it. There are very few people left on the planet who were not born within a world where they were being dominated by institutions. And so if we want to get rid of institutional racism and patriarchy and classism and heterosexism, well, then we have to get rid of institutions. And we don't really want to do that, because when it really comes down to it, we enjoy this life this striving for comfort, our goals, our dreams, our ambitions, we enjoy those more than we enjoy justice. Because what justice requires in evolution of thought, in this case, happens to be our lives. And we're not willing to give those up for anything. So, next time you hear cries for revolution, maybe pipe up and talk about, is somebody ready for an evolution in thought first? This has been your local white guy. Talk to you next time.